So you can see from the pictures, this is actually a few days later, and this is the first time I've been out to the house to really check everything out in the daylight between work and coming out after work when it was dark. I haven't seen everything in the daylight yet, but my whole property had a lot of downed trees, a lot of downed limbs that broke, and this almost hit my house. Came really close. I'm pretty much just documenting this just for myself, and you know, I know some people that watch the channel don't deal with this kind of weather and stuff. I know a lot of people watch the channel don't deal with this kind of weather, so I just kind of wanted to show you that living in the snow in the snow belt isn't as fun as it's made out to be. And I'll go around to the back side of the house as well, show you what it's like back there. Back there's a disaster. And here's the back side of the house. This was really, really close. I mean, this actually hit the house, but none of the huge limbs did. It was just the very end of the tree. There's actually two that broke off from here. Don't mind the chainsaw. It's my neighbors over here helping me clean everything up. So to show you guys what happened back here. That tree up there snapped in half. It fell that direction, but when it snapped, these two huge limbs broke off from it. And that's what landed towards the back side of the house. And it also took down two limbs off this tree and way up there. So it sheared off these limbs off that tree, which also almost hit the house at the same time. This was left of it. Oh, it's that huge limb that broke off. That's a telephone line that broke, which I don't have anymore. Yeah. No, so I'm glad I ripped that down. This was a huge limb that broke off. It was blocking the whole driveway, so I couldn't even get in.
Really? Because my stove will hold up to almost
the telephone line that snapped. Okay, so but I don't have a landline anymore, so it doesn't matter. Okay. But I'm going to have to do something to get rid of that line at some point. So that was a huge log that was in the driveway that's finally, it's cut up now.
I got a fairly wide.
All the shit from in there. And what you guys really want to see, what you came here for, was the Cobra. That's that busted limb. It's hanging on my power line still. I have the company coming out at some point. They didn't say when, but I got really lucky that that line did not break and land into the garage, through the garage, and hit the Cobra, because that would have been really, really bad. You see how bad that limb is. It's just split wide open. It's actually resting on the power line. So I definitely dodged one between the limb that's laying up on my front of my deck there, all the stuff in the back. There was like 5 or 6 limbs that had broken off, and nothing hit my garage, my house, or any significant damage to property. And the Cobra is fine. I actually tucked it deeper in the garage than what it usually is, just in case something hit towards the front, it wouldn't have damaged it. But look at that ceramic coating. Didn't that come out really good? If you guys didn't see that video, I'll put a link to it in the description so you can check that out. But yeah, the Cobra's fine. I got really lucky. This could have been a lot worse. I could have had damage to my house, damage to my garage, could have had a huge limb come through the garage and hit the Cobra. You know, garages aren't built like houses. If that limb or part of that tree broke off and fell into the garage, it's not going to hold it back like a house will with the construction in the house versus just the T111 and some 2x4s in the garage. So I definitely got lucky. So I just want to give you guys an update, to kind of throw this video into something a little bit different, and all this cleanup that I now have to do. We'll take one more look at the front here and how close that came to. I mean, it actually did hit my house, but it wasn't the main branches part of it. And it's laying like up on the top of the steps there, right up against the door. That smoke's just my boiler. It always does that, just excess steam or whatever that it blows off. But yeah, really, really big mess. It's going to take a while to get all this cleaned up and the stuff in the back cleaned up. Today we're just doing this here, and the part that was the part that fell across my driveway, the huge mess that's in the back of the house. We'll get that later on. It doesn't have to be done today, but hope you guys like something just a little bit different. More of like a life update more than anything, and just something to show that the Cobra's cool. Nothing happened. Everything's good with that. And this just isn't my place. Everywhere around my area is just decimated with down trees and limbs and everything. It's kind of the aftermath of what we've cleaned up so far. It's about a shot of that limb that broke off. It's the one that landed across the driveway here. And obviously I can't park the Bronco in the garage for a while until that's fixed. But I wanted to show you the pending mess over here. Got a lot of it cleaned up. But it's just the amount of wood and branches and everything here is just going to take so long to get all this cleaned up. Good news is nothing broke. It did break the top railing off on the steps there. You can see it sitting there in the corner now. So I broke that off, and it's bent a little bit up there, but I'll just get a ladder and nail that back in. But overall, considering this is what actually broke, I thought it was a limb, but the tree actually broke in half. So that's split right in half and then landed right along the side of the house. And that's most of it all cut up in that pile over by the driveway. The rest of it's still laying here. Here's a better shot. There's all kinds of stuff here that needs to get cleaned up. So basically we're gonna have to cut the rest of that tree down where this broke from, because all this stuff that's hanging is also from that tree. So I'll get that cut down at some point. And there's the other one that broke off. That's the back side of the house. See a couple of snapped. You see the pine tree right behind it. So there was a total of, broke out, that sheared off right towards the top. So that tree broke. The pine tree right behind it broke, that you can see. And both of those landed on the back of the house. That's what I showed you guys earlier. But we're not cleaning that up today. I'm not going to do a video on my yard cleanup again, but I just thought it was such a bad storm. And the fact that the Cobra almost got whacked with that branch that was still not out of the woods yet. I guess that could technically still break off, but I don't think it's really in danger of hitting my garage at all. I didn't know at first when this first started happening. I left the morning of the storm, and I came out to the Bronco. It was parked, in the garage, and I could hear that limb breaking. It was snapping like in real time as I was bringing stuff out to the Bronco. So I had to back out through all of that stuff because I didn't know if it was on the verge of coming down, and I didn't want to stay at the house anymore because I knew there was trees and limbs coming down. I just didn't want to stay here. And I'm glad I didn't, because it could have been really bad if any of this stuff hit the house. So hopefully the power company doesn't take too long to come out here and fix this. I know they're extremely busy with this storm. Knocked out over 300,000 people without power in the state. So definitely a lot of cleanup. And since I'm out here, there's some other photos I showed at the beginning of a tree that was in the road. You could kind of see the Bronco in the picture a little bit. And that's from this tree that blew over. It's all cut up now, but this tree snapped in half. So it was just a huge mess. There was 2 limbs that came off this one. Both of them landed here in the road, so you couldn't even get on the road. Luckily, it's the road that I'm on. You can get out to the main road that way, or you can go that way. So you're fine either way as long as both of them aren't blocked. Here's all the crap that fell down in the road. The town came by and cleaned all this stuff up. But all this was laying in the road beforehand. So overall, pretty big mess. It'll be a long time before everything is cleaned up, so it looks like there wasn't a bomb that exploded in my yard with trees everywhere, but for now it's good. The house isn't damaged, so that's a blessing, and nothing landed on the garage. Cobra didn't get whacked. Overall, ended well considering just how close I came with everything that's broken back there. It could have landed on the house and didn't. So overall, definitely lucky.